Hey there, WorkFlowy users. I thought I would take a few minutes and show how I've been using WorkFlowy to work on a novel that I've been working on for the last year or so. So I started out writing in WorkFlowy and then realized I wanted some of the structure I was hearing about that Scrivener, which is a writing program that's kind of like a Microsoft Word on drugs specifically for authors. So I tried out Scrivener for a month, and when I decided to go back to WorkFlowy, because like many WorkFlowy users, I love the fluidity and the flexibility of WorkFlowy that Scrivener doesn't really have. Scrivener is a lot more flexible, I think, in some ways than Microsoft Word. So I think a lot of authors came from Microsoft Word into Scrivener and found it to be wonderful because it gave them so many options. But coming from WorkFlowy to Scrivener, I immediately felt cramped and everything is kind of locked into place. Unlike WorkFlowy, where any node can be anything that you want to be, you can mirror it and backlink to it and send things here and there using WorkFlowy and WFX mechanics. So when I came back to WorkFlowy, though, there was a lot of the structure in Scrivener that I really had been enjoying. And so I decided to try and duplicate some of that in WorkFlowy while still maintaining the flexibility that WorkFlowy offers. So I thought I'd show you just the structure. I'm not going to get into detail on the book itself, but just how I've been working on it may be helpful to some people. So I'm going to show you. This is a novel about a boy. It's a coming of age realistic fiction about a boy who has played Fortnite since it started, and using some of the skills and principles he's learned in Fortnite, he's going to make some decisions about kind of his coming of age, making decisions about college and career and that kind of thing. So I use an extension called Session Buddy, which allows you to use Chrome and set up your screens or your multiple screens any way that you want to, and then save that instance of Chrome. So I'm going to go into my Fortnite book instance and open it up, and open 6 tabs in 4 windows. So this is pulling up 3 instances of WorkFlowy on the same screen, and I've got I think this is a 32-inch monitor that I'm working with here. I also pull up a Spotify playlist as one of the Chrome tabs. So I have a Fortnite book playlist that I usually listen to often as I'm getting started writing in the mornings. And then I also have a Pinterest board with just images that come to mind that kind of highlight some aspects of the book. But we're going to focus on WorkFlowy right now. And hey, buddy, you can come in. It's early morning, so my family's waking up. Hey, bud. So what I've got here is 3 instances of the same node, which is the node that houses the novel that I'm working on. And how I usually structure it, this is the outline inside of the node, and it's captures all of the aspects of the novels and different ways of looking at the novel and places to store ideas and that kind of thing. And so usually I leave this left-hand side open, and it's kind of a support panel. This is what I'm working on right now. I'm working on character development. And so this will be my active tab. And then over here, I usually have my inbox opened up. And so as I have ideas, I can just jot down ideas without having to navigate inside of WorkFlowy. And then I will jump into this. Basically, I have a flywheel and a workflow for how I create a platform for writing a novel or whatever it is I'm working on. When I trigger, I actually have a template in Writing Life. I have a new story template that I can create, and that houses all the same things for each piece of writing that I'm working on. And go back here. So I have some tags. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to pop that up, and then I'm going to zoom in so you can kind of see a little bit better. Have some tags that I use inside of this node. I have my inbox, This is where I'll actually do the writing itself, which I haven't gotten to right now. I'm just doing a lot of story development, character development, backstory, and that kind of thing. So hopefully this fall I'll actually start writing the actual novel. I do have snippets anytime I come up with just a concept or a part of a story or part of a scene. I'll write that out and store that under snippets. Outlines, I've outlined the book several times, kind of from a 50,000 foot level and then zoomed in a little bit. But these are all just versions of the story that I've outlined in different ways that I can use as a reference point. Places, haven't really developed anything there, but when I have a new place or a new instance or a house or a restaurant or whatever, I'll store that as a reference there. I've got my characters. I've got a new character template that I use to kind of build out a new character. And I use the whole thing for the main characters. And it's just a set of kind of questions or prompts to help me develop the character more fully. And then characters that are not as central, obviously, I'm not going to build them out quite as much. Let's see here. Characters, notes. This, again, is just reference material, place to store things in particular, and then research. So the setting, for example, for this particular novel I'm working on, the setting is 2017 to 2019 from the time that Fortnite was released until the Fortnite World Cup in the summer of 2019. So things like what were the world events that people would be familiar with. Got a Fortnite timeline I've built out, which is an extensive it's a set of tags. So for example, if I want to look up events, for example, I've got this events with videos for the events in Fortnite. Fortnite pretty much almost every season will release an event where it's kind of like a story happening inside. I've got story lore. So as I'm writing the novel, it's going to be chronologically going from 2017 to 2019. I'll be able to tap in to exactly what was happening. Anyway, that's just for this book in particular. So this is just a set of reference material that I want to have easily accessible. And then trash. So that's how I have been. Let's see if I can get this back over here. So essentially, because I have a place for everything, I can easily work on any particular aspect of the novel here in the central pane. And then as I'm working on something, if I have a question, I can use this pane, maybe to jump into a particular reference point and then back out. So that's always easily accessible as a support platform. Now, one thing, looking to the future, when I actually go to publish this, for WorkFlowy at this point really doesn't have a really good publishing aspect to it. You can export, copy and paste. So my plan is when I actually come to publishing this and formatting it to submit it, unless WorkFlowy has developed some more formatting options or export options than it has right now, I'll actually plan on exporting it all into Scrivener in order to prepare it for publication. So that is one thing that's lacking. But I think since I'm going to be working on this novel, I've already been working on it for about a year and a half, and I probably have another year to work on it, at least. I'd rather be comfortably ensconced in WorkFlowy while I'm working on that, and then maybe just plan on taking a couple of days to export it and format it in Scrivener to prepare for publication. So for me, it's worth it to be in my familiar environment in WorkFlowy while I'm writing, and then plan on doing whatever I need to do for export. So hope that helps. Be curious to know if there's any other writers that use WorkFlowy for writing, how do you guys use it for your writing? So thanks for watching. Have a good day.